Hi. Hello, folks. Hope you enjoyed your holidays. They're not over yet, I guess. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be a continuation of what was yesterday, just, a little more talking. Maybe we'll get to the action at the end or not, I don't know. I'll probably be starting a new chapter soon. So the Himka family is on our side. Mike noted. Arjuna looked shocked. What Mike said. Mike supposed he wasn't. Mike didn't react apologetic and kind. All his life, he had been accidentally insulting people, and he rarely apologized, and except when it was to someone he really liked, and there weren't that many people out there that he liked. There was Ireland, Dummy, Belle, and Bella. I have to check that. Belle, and a few others. Ireland, Dummy, Belle, and a few others. And he often had words with those people. He wasn't like, that's because you were a friend to Mike Peterson. Mike Peterson didn't mean you wouldn't get in a shouting match with you. Or worse, as was the case a few times with Ireland. Just because you were friends with Mike Peterson. Mike Peterson didn't mean he wouldn't get in a shouting match with you. A lot of people have friends like that, I guess. Like, you see it often in drama shows, I guess. Like, friends that will scream and yell at each other. I've never had kind of relationship with anybody outside of the family, so, it's like, I never saw the need to get in a shouting match with a friend. Family, that's another story, of course, but, Here's the last people who... Of course we are. Of course we're on your side. Akuma? Reassured. We are the Republic. We have no future. No future if the Jade Empire comes back. Most of the world probably doesn't. Admitted. So we have to do what we can to make sure that doesn't happen. This revolt back home will be put down, Arjuna said. Is the leadership safe? Of the Republic safe? Mike asked. He actually didn't care that much. Wow, Mike is a fucking asshole. I can't believe I use him as a protagonist so much. He hates everybody. He says mean things to everybody. He's a psycho killer sometimes. And jeez. I guess, characters with a lot of flaws like that are the ones people find interesting. Didn't care that much. If the whole Himk family got wiped out, Himk family got capitalized. Himk family, cap. family got wiped out. They just find another guy in a suit to run the Republic. Look what happened with West Bloodka. A few chancellors get assassinated in office. Doesn't really matter much. Just gets replaced by some other boring guy. That was the point of West Bloodka, Mike assumed. Keep the Bloodkins boring. And that's what happened. I mean, you can't really think of many stories set in Germany after World War II, can you? At least ones that don't involve the Cold War, which I think is the second most interesting time period that people like to go to, besides whatever's modern day. Technically, all those movies in the 80s are Cold War films, I guess, because of the time period they're set in. Of course, you know, people don't think about that stuff that much, even though it was a big part of that time. We think about Back to the Future and other stuff, I guess. Home Alone? No, that's the 90s. Early 90s. Yep, that was the time period I grew up in, so I guess nostalgia. Definitely more of a fan of movies than... Definitely more of a fan of video games than movies. The 90s were a great time for video games. So those are the stories that I liked and grew up with. Let's see. They're all safe. All safe in a bunker somewhere. Akuna muttered. My uncle is the current president of the Republic. President of the Republic. If he was here, was he an old soldier? My guess, yeah. Kuna muttered. Fine. Probably would want a piece of the action if he was younger. And yourself, I guess. I wear a uniform, but I'm not a soldier anymore. Was he in a uniform? Certainly. Okay. In suit. Gotta make sure. I'm not a soldier anymore. When I replied. Though I think that I'm ready for trouble. Well, if it comes my way. I'm gonna petted a big holstered pistol on his belt. Looked like one of those big 44s or 50 cal pistols that some guys like to carry. Mike had used pretty much every pistol under the sun at some point. Hopefully not. Hopefully you'll be safe wherever you run. Hold up, Mike said. Akuna was there as part of the diplomatic dance to reassure the Seton government that he and his family were loyal to the Republic and the alliance with the Zeton United States that had been so fruitful in the 8 years since the war. I've heard people say that the Jade Nation had transformed utterly in those 8 years. It was practically a new country. New traditions, new views on what it meant to be a Jade. And a pacifist streak ran through pacifist. I'm feeling a bit of existential crisis here, folks. I'm not sure. Uneasy. A lot of stuff. I don't know. I'm not the only one, clearly, in this country. I don't know how many of them break out in a sweat just wondering what this country's gonna be like in 10 years, 20 years. I'm worried about freedom of speech and other things. Silicon Valley having too much power and using that power incorrectly. And all that stuff. Pacifist streak ran through the country, particularly the youth. The rebellion, it might have been the last gasp of the old Jade Empire, the old way of the old meaning. After this incident was over, maybe the Jade Empire would be gone for good. I can sit in on the meeting between Akuna, Tom Cullen. Cullen? One word or one L or two? Yeah, probably got it wrong. Let's see. And some government officials that Mike didn't recognize. There was a case with most government guys. Most didn't stick out too much. Mike went up with D, and Kogo. Watching Return of the Living Dead. Wonder if it does hurt to be dead. I mean, hopefully you wouldn't be conscious as you're just lying there in the dark forever, but who knows what happens after you die. Doesn't that almost make you want to get cremated like the Japanese? Return of the Living Dead is a fine movie. If I wrote a novelization, I'd probably spend 100 pages giving all the zombies backstories. You know, I was curious about who those people were before they died. Let's see. Mike met up with D and Koga in a big tent, and soon after got their orders. Report to a nearby airfield. They were going to the Jade Continent, and at long last, to join the fight there. Things were spiraling out of control. Mike had heard that before, but this time it wasn't just the usual doom and gloom people. Many of the guys that Mike knew said the same. These were not men known for panicking. Sounds like we got quite a mess waiting for us. Be noted. Mike and Koga. We'll do our best to try to make things better. Koga replied, added hopefully. That's what we need more of in the world, folks. Hope and goodness. We need more happy science fiction. Less stuff like Warhammer 40k. Although I like 40k. Any glimmer of hope for mankind, you know? That'd be nice, I think. I'd like us to start colonizing planets, so if some space meteor hits our planet, we won't all die, and it will be the end of the human race. And I hope we run into some good aliens who can protect us from all the bad aliens out there in space. Because I'm always nervous about an alien invasion, to be honest with you. It's a much more realistic possibility than zombies, don't you think? Of course, maybe the zombies will show up first and they'll be the first wave of the alien invasion to soften us up, you know? I mean, if you watch The Walking Dead, are those people living in tiny little communities behind fences that are going to be able to resist an alien invasion after the world has ended? No, probably not. And then the aliens came and things got worse. We were worse than the zombies. Pretty much the history of Russia there summed up. And then things got worse. Poor Russia. I feel bad for him sometimes. I really do. Despite all this craziness with Putin. Let's see. Of course, I'm sure a Russian would hear that and say, we don't need your pity, you fucking soft American pig. And he'd be right. Let's see. Hopefully we'll do our best. Yeah. Mike muttered. Mike was seeing himself as some sailor on a big sinking ship. He's trying to save this ship from sinking by scooping up one bucket of water after another, hurling the water over the railing. That wasn't going to save things. Save this. That wasn't saving the ship. That was, at best, delaying the inevitable. Sound like you're feeling. Sounds like you're feeling, hopeful. Mike D smiled. Oh yeah. Sunshine and Lollipops. Lovely song. I should listen to it after I finish this. Don't want to get a copyright strike. Not that I'm making money off this. It's just like I wanted it to be taken down. Okay, I'm gonna pause here so I can do the title. Just a second, folks. Ta-da, we're back. And no, the Dragon Express is not the name of a Chinese restaurant. It is a train. And I'm doing a chapter set mostly on a train, but first I need a little prologue. D was in position in the woods, 10 meters away from the meeting location. Hidden in wearing a ghillie suit and tracking a scoped and suppressed M21 rifle. It was Zetin. It was standard issue or Zetin snipers, and was, at least as far as semi-autos went, it was a heavily modified version of the standard M14, which was itself a pretty good sniper rifle. Certainly more accurate than the M16 D's experience. D, Mike, and Koga had arrived in country 3 days earlier. And things seemed to be getting worse and worse. The Jade terrorists had conducted numerous terrorist acts, including the kidnapping of government officials. A special anti-terrorist, anti-rebellion force had been created, known as Black Strike. It was specifically to deal with the crisis at hand, and would be disbanded when the crisis was over. it had carte blanche in terms of, gotta check if that's the right word, carte blanche, in terms of funding, in terms of personnel, funding, weaponry, anything it needed to handle the crisis. Mike wasn't one of the leaders. Mike and Dee weren't leading the unit, but they were definitely among its top operatives. Currently, Dee and Mike were handling hostage situation in the woods. 3 terrorists had seized 3 Zetan agents, and they were looking to use them as a way to get to friendly territory. At the moment, they were deep in Republican territory, meaning territory friendly to Zeta and the Jade Nation. The 3 terrorists were all ex-Jade Army and were in woodland camo. Dee and Mike had been called up. It was Dee and Mike who were tasked with rescuing the 3 agents. Okay, on that note, let's end here, folks. See you later. Auf Wiedersehen.